There are some facts we've all heard 1,000 times, in school, from parents, and movies. But what if I told you most of them are completely wrong? From the myth of only using 10% of your brain to the lie about goldfish having 3-second memories, these are the totally false facts the world still believes, without question. So if you're ready to unlearn the nonsense and stop spreading fake science at dinner parties, here are the top myths that everyone believes, but shouldn't. 1. You only use 10% of your brain. This idea is one of the most persistent lies in pop culture, and it's completely wrong. You've heard it in motivational speeches. Imagine what you could do if you just tapped into the other 90%. You've seen it in movies like Lucy or Limitless, where unlocking full brain power turns people into gods. But here's the truth. We use virtually every part of our brain, and we use it all the time, not just 10%. Modern brain imaging, like fMRI scans, proves that even during basic tasks, talking, walking, daydreaming, multiple areas of the brain light up with activity. Even while you're asleep, your brain is still firing on all cylinders, processing emotions, cleaning out toxins, consolidating memories. There's no giant warehouse of unused brain cells just waiting to be activated like a superhero origin story. So where did this myth come from? It likely started as a misquote or misinterpretation of early neurologists in the late 1800s or early 1900s who were simply saying, we don't fully understand the brain yet. Over time, that uncertainty was twisted into, we barely use it at all. It sounds inspiring. It sounds mysterious. But it's not science. It's just Hollywood junk food for your brain. So no, you don't have 90% of your brain sitting idle. You're already using all of it, just maybe not wisely. 2. You need to drink 8 glasses of water a day. This one gets passed around like gospel. You must drink 8 glasses of water a day, or else. But here's the problem. There's no actual science that says exactly 8 glasses is the magic number. The truth is, your body's water needs vary daily, based on your diet, your environment, your activity level, your health, and even how much you're sweating. If you eat water-rich foods like fruits, vegetables, soups, or drink other fluids like tea, milk, or juice, you're already getting hydration. Your body doesn't care if it comes from a glass of water or a bowl of watermelon. In fact, forcing yourself to drink too much water can even be dangerous. It can dilute your body's sodium levels and lead to a condition called hyponatremia, which can be life-threatening in extreme cases. So where did the 8 glasses rule come from? The origin of this myth goes back to 1945, when the U.S. Food and Nutrition Board released a guideline stating, a suitable allowance of water for adults is 2.5 liters daily in most instances. Most of this quantity is contained in prepared foods. And of course, bottled water companies ran with it. Because fear is good for business. Don't trust your thirst, trust our brand. But here's the truth. Your body is smart. If you're thirsty, drink. If you're not, don't force it. Hydration is important. But blindly following a one-size-fits-all rule, that's just bad advice with good marketing. So next time someone tells you to drink more water, ask them, why? And according to who? 3. Shaving makes hair grow back thicker. This myth has been passed down like a family heirloom, especially to teenagers. Don't shave yet. Your hair will grow back thicker, darker, and faster. Sounds terrifying, but it's 100% false. The truth is, shaving has no effect on the thickness, color, or growth rate of your hair. What it does change is the appearance and texture. And that's where the confusion begins. Here's how it works. When you shave, you cut the hair at the surface of your skin. The hair shaft that grows back has a blunt, flat tip, instead of the natural tapered end. This makes it feel coarser or stubbly, especially in areas like your legs, arms, or face. And because you're seeing many short, stubby hairs growing back at the same time, it can look like there's suddenly more of it. But scientifically, the root of the hair, the follicle, is untouched, and hair growth is controlled by hormones and genetics, not razors. Multiple clinical studies, including one from 1928, yes, people were already suspicious back then, have confirmed that shaving does not affect how hair grows. More recent studies using micrometers and hair density tracking showed the exact same thing. So where did this myth come from? Probably from observational bias. People noticed their hair looked thicker after shaving, but didn't understand why. Parents passed it on. Beauty salons reinforced it. And once it hit puberty-age boys and girls, fear took care of the rest. In truth, if shaving could actually change your hair's biology, bald men wouldn't be bald. So the next time someone says, "Don't shave or it'll come back thicker," just smile and say, "It'll just come back looking sharper." Like me. 4. Cracking your knuckles causes arthritis. Stop cracking your knuckles. You'll get arthritis. If you grew up hearing that warning, you're not alone. It's one of the most repeated health facts of all time. But here's the truth. There's no scientific evidence that cracking your knuckles causes arthritis. None. Zero. So what's actually happening when you crack your knuckles? Inside your joints, there's a fluid called synovial fluid. It lubricates and cushions the bones. When you stretch or bend your fingers, pressure changes inside the joint cause gas bubbles to rapidly collapse or form. That pop, they crack you hear, it's just a harmless release of gas, not your bones grinding or your cartilage tearing. Researchers have studied this in depth. One legendary study even involved a doctor, Dr. Donald Unger, who cracked the knuckles of one hand every day for 60 years, but never the other hand. Guess what happened? No difference. Neither hand developed arthritis. He even won an Ig Nobel Prize for it, a tongue-in-cheek award for weird but useful science. More advanced imaging like MRI has also shown that the sound is simply from cavitation, not damage. And multiple studies have confirmed. Knuckle cracking does not cause joint swelling, loss of grip strength, or any increased risk of arthritis. So where did the myth come from? Probably from the annoyance factor. Parents and teachers heard the sound and wanted a reason to make kids stop. So they invented a scary consequence. If you don't stop, you'll regret it when you're old. In reality, the worst you might get from excessive knuckle cracking is some temporary swelling or a scolding from someone nearby. But arthritis, not even close. So crack away, just don't do it in a job interview. 5. Goldfish only have a 3-second memory. Poor goldfish. They've been the punchline of short-term memory jokes for decades. You forgot your keys? Must have a goldfish brain. But guess what? Goldfish have way better memory than people think. The idea that goldfish can only remember things for 3 seconds is completely false and has been debunked by multiple scientific studies. In reality, goldfish have been shown to remember things for weeks, even months. They can recognize their owners, learn feeding schedules, be trained to swim through mazes, even associate sounds with food. One study from the University of Plymouth trained goldfish to press a lever at specific times of the day to receive food. And they remembered the routine. Another experiment conditioned goldfish to respond to certain colors and musical tones, and they retained the learned behavior for over a month. That's not just memory, that's learning, pattern recognition, and even timing. So where did the 3-second memory myth come from? It's unclear, but it likely started as a way to justify small, boring tanks and neglectful pet care. If the fish forget everything instantly, the logic goes, they don't need stimulation, toys, or proper space. But that's cruel and wrong. Goldfish are intelligent, social animals that need more than just a glass bowl and a sprinkle of food. So the next time someone says, "Don't worry, they'll forget in 3 seconds," tell them, goldfish remember more than you do. 6. Humans swallow 8 spiders a year. While sleeping, this one feels creepy enough to be true. You're just lying in bed, fast asleep, and spiders are supposedly crawling into your mouth, one by one, 8 times a year? Nope. This fact is 100% fiction. There is no scientific evidence, none, that humans swallow spiders in their sleep. In fact, it's extremely unlikely for several reasons. Let's break it down. Spiders avoid humans. They're sensitive to vibrations, like breathing, snoring, and movement. Your sleeping body feels like an earthquake to a spider. Going into your mouth? That's like crawling into a cave with a roaring dragon. Your mouth isn't just open real estate. Most people sleep with their mouths closed or partially closed. Even if it's open, it's warm, moist, and full of sounds and air. Not exactly prime spider real estate. There are 0 documented cases, not one verified scientific report or recorded incident of someone swallowing a spider in their sleep. If this were happening to billions of people regularly, someone would have caught it by now. So where did this myth come from? Interestingly, it was likely created on purpose. In the 1990s, a writer named Lisa Holst published a piece about how people will believe anything they read on the internet, even if it's absurd. She used the 8 spiders a year claim as a deliberate example of false information. Ironically, the fake example she invented became the very myth she was warning about. The internet took it, ran with it, and never looked back. So no, you're not eating spiders in your sleep. Your dreams may be scary, but your mouth is not a buffet. You can rest easy. The only thing crawling into your bed is misinformation. 7. Bats are blind. You've heard it your whole life. Blind as a bat. It's one of the most casually accepted facts in language, used to describe anyone who can't see clearly. But here's the twist. Bats are not blind. In fact, many of them have excellent vision. Some even see better than humans in low light. Let's clear this up once and for all. Bats belong to an order called Chiroptera, and there are over 1,400 species. Some species, like fruit bats, aka flying foxes, have large eyes and rely heavily on vision to navigate. Others, like insect-eating microbats, use echolocation, a sophisticated sonar system to hunt and move in the dark. But using echolocation doesn't mean they can't see. In fact, studies show that bats combine both sound and sight depending on the situation. Even echolocating bats use their eyes for tracking movement, navigating daylight, and long-range detection. And get this, some bats can see ultraviolet light, a spectrum invisible to humans. So how did the myth start? Likely from a misunderstanding of echolocation. When people learned that bats could see with sound, they assumed it was because they couldn't see with eyes. And just like that, blind as a bat was born. But it's lazy science and bad PR for bats. Truth is, bats are multi-sensory predators. They see, they hear, they echo, they fly upside down. They're basically the night shift superheroes of the animal kingdom. So next time someone calls you blind as a bat, take it as a compliment, because bats, they see just fine. Now you know the truth. So what are you going to do with it? If you found yourself saying, wait, what? At least once during this video, you're not alone. We've all been lied to by pop culture, lazy science, and outdated textbooks. But the difference is, now you know better. Smash that like button if at least one of these facts blew your mind. Subscribe for more content like this, and drop a comment. Which fact did you used to believe until today? See you in the next video.